Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for subscribing already, and we love you. We value so much our audience. So today we'll be doing so much of things affecting our lives, of things we are dealing with in our lives, and I thought of mental health. You will agree with me that this is one of the major and common, currently a monster that we are dealing with. Mental awareness, mental health, we are dealing with a lot. And so I thought of just having a speaking engagement with special people, very special. I hope you learned something, hope you'll enjoy. Keep calm. If you have any comment, any reaction, any suggestion you have, an idea, please drop your comment, write to us. Let's share with you, let's respond to your questions and all that you have. They will say themselves who they are, their names. So welcome.
Thank you, Seraphine. Such a pleasure to be here today, and thank you for availing this opportunity for just us to have a conversation about mental health. My name is Dr. Priscilla Bunda. I'm a clinical psychologist by profession, also a lecturer at the university.
Good afternoon. Thank you. My name is Dr. Sociocultural, and I'm so glad to be here today to share more knowledge on mental health, mental wellness, and other disorders which affect people. And I'm a clinical psychologist. I work with Nuru and Navigators and Kenya.
Hello everyone, my name is Maureen Nyayeka. I'm a clinical psychologist and I'm also a practicing psychologist at Madara National Teaching and Referral Hospital. I'm looking forward to us having a very good conversation on mental health.
Welcome, everybody. I want to hand over this segment to Dr. Nyayeka to take us through what mental wellness is. We thought we should start from a positive point of view, just to understand what mental wellness is. Then we'll proceed from there. Welcome, Dr. Nyayeka.
Thank you, Dr. Munda. Thank you so much. I'm sure we've all had relatives, we've all had friends, we've had neighbors. We've come, even our own employees, we've come across people who suffered from mental health challenges. And as Daktari has said over here, today we want to start from a positive note. Just helping you understand what mental health is, and particularly what mental wellness is. We all have it, therapy. We have mental health. We walk with it, we live it. It is just as important as your physical health, right? Normally it's just best to look at it in terms of it being on a continuum. You having all these issues within you, daily life stressors, psychological issues that you're struggling with, and sometimes you don't even know how to handle them, but you being able to cope with these issues in a better way, in a more realistic way. Yeah? Actually, the World Health Organization describes mental health as a state where you as an individual is able to achieve your potential and live it fully. And not only that, you're even able as an individual to function productively.
Sorry, Doctor.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt
Yes.
you. I missed it. Will you come again? You say it is the state where?
It's a state of mental wellness,
State of mental
or
wellness.
rather we can say a state of mental well-being in which you as an individual is able to attain your potential. Yeah? Well,
It's already sounding complicated. Do you have a maybe in a layman's language, or does it have? It sounds already complicated, just like the.
yeah, you're just able to catch yourself. Able to catch yourself and live with that. Live a more satisfying life once you catch yourself mentally.
That sounds more easy.
Mhm.
But now, say it again. State where your potential.
You're able to realize
State where you are able to realize
your potential as an
my
individual.
potential as an individual.
Yes. So that you are able to, like live a life that is more fulfilling
Nice.
to you. And apart from that, when you talk about mental wellness, what else do we put in that? For you to say that, Seraphine, I am mentally well. I am talking about you having a potential and attaining that potential in a more satisfying way. What else is there for you to do? You need to also understand that the moment you're able to work productively and to work in a fruitful way, then by that time you're already telling yourself that I'm mentally well.
So what I'm understanding from this, mental health means that first I have to realize myself. A state where I'm a position, I will be in a position to realize myself. And that's the only, it's a condition that I have to self-awareness.
And aware of yourself. You're aware of your thoughts, your feelings, and therefore even your behaviors.
So this will reflect on my performance, on other spheres, areas of my life. Perfect.
Performance, social life, how you're interacting with people, how you deal with people. It shows how you're dealing with people and interacting.
So actually what you're saying then in this, that looking at me, or when you assess, you look at a person, how I live tells you the level of my mental health. You will be able to say if I'm normal. My health is, my mental is now health, or I'm unhealth.
Because you're actually able to lead a more satisfying life.
A more satisfying life and able to adopt, cope with situations, with life challenges. If you're faced with something challenging, how do you deal with it? How do you handle it?
Guys, are you getting this? Are you understanding? Or is it so hard? No, it is hard for me.
Actually,
Yes.
Seraphine, I was just about to tell you, apart from that point that I've mentioned, it would be also significant to help our viewers understand that your mental health, your mental wellness also entails you as an individual being able to deal with the normal stresses of life. What are these normal stresses of life? So many numerous things around us. Even things like just getting stuck in traffic. That can just
Trigger you.
trigger your mental well-being. It can affect it. Being at home, or I woke up in the morning and my health did not bother to even put for me some hot water, and she knows that I take a coffee in the morning, and you're already stressed about it. So what is the WHO telling us, and generally what we know about mental wellness? It is you being able to deal with the normal stresses of life. Apart from that, I think I mentioned it briefly at the beginning. You and your productivity, being able to, just, do something that you are proud of. Something that people can see and see that, today I did ABC and it was productive. Right? Apart from that, your mental health well-being also entails, you just being able to make a contribution in the community. Yeah, it is part of our mental wellness.
So in fact, from where I'm sitting, mental wellness is everything. It is a person. Defines a person. Everything around a human being. I think this is the best topic so far. We needed just to start with this. I'm proud I'm learning and that this is happening. I'm sure my viewers, guys, are you there? Are you following this? Are you learning something? Hope you're following mental health, mental awareness. This is some of the very, very sensitive areas of our lives currently that we are dealing with a lot about it. And I'm happy. I'm sure many are in my position. From where I'm sitting, I can see you guys following keenly. Yes, Dr.
Yeah.
This is so much.
Yeah. It's not okay. It's not too much. It's just what is enough.
No, I'm just surprised. We take it like it's just an issue. We just throw a word mental health. No, I didn't know it is this deep.
Yeah.
From just what you said.
I know there's so much out there in terms of mental health and what everybody knows about mental health. But generally, it's just you being, having resilience, being confident in yourself. Small things like just, believing in yourself, feeling good about myself. I woke up in the morning. Yeah.
I think I'm normal. From what you're saying, my mental health is
Right?
It's okay.
right.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Just to add on that,
Yes.
this does not mean that there are times that we will not have our low moments.
Mm-hmm.
So the ability even to react to a situation appropriately, that's a sign of mental wellness. For example, if you've lost somebody and you're just sitting there, you're not sad, you're not grieving, and this is your loved one, then we can start questioning your mental wellness. You see? So the ability to react appropriately. If somebody upsets you, surely you're entitled to get angry. But how long do you stay in that state of anger and how do you manage it? Now that will determine how mentally well you are. So it doesn't mean that it's just going to be smooth all the way. It's about us knowing when do we react, how. Are we in touch with our emotion, the awareness we were talking about? Are we in touch with our emotion? If I'm feeling this way, do I understand why I'm feeling this way? Yeah, am I being upset inappropriately, or I'm being upset appropriately? Why?
Yeah, actually, Doc, thank you so much for that information. Because I was just going to add, if it becomes too persistent, it becomes too severe that you're not able to deal with your sadness, your worries, your anxious moments, feeling angry and you cannot get over there, then it means there's an issue. There's a problem that touches on your mental well-being. Yeah. And it's important that you do what? You address it.
So mental wellness is, from what Dr. has just said, that you realize yourself first, self-realization. And then there are different emotions. So reacting appropriately to your environment is a sign of mental well person. So from what you're also saying is what do I get here? I'm losing it, but I think you should keep talking so that I will grasp more.
Okay.
I think I'm learning too much. I'm learning too much.
The beauty is you can listen to it later.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So sometimes we ask ourselves, how do I know I need to be mentally well. But how do I maintain? At least someone is asking, how do I maintain this?
Thank you.
Yes.
In fact, that's the question I'm asking already. I'm wondering, someone has just annoyed me. Okay, let's talk of this scenario. I had an appointment. You keep waiting. You are telling me you are almost. So I'm waiting. I get more agitated. I get restless. And you are telling me you come and you are not even apologetic. And you are telling me coming out of it means please let me just be alone. Because I have to deal with you first. You're telling me if I sat for so long, then I'm alone.
Look at it like this.
Yes.
We are not saying that you cannot deal with it. How do you deal with it? The appropriate way. So that, remember, if you react, it wasn't back to you. It is affecting you. Not even the person who came
I
in
never
late.
thought of it that way.
It is not like that. It is not the person who came in late, or it is not the person who did not apologize. It is you.
So I'm the one with the burden again.
So, and that is why that Buddha said the self-awareness is very key when it comes to mental illness. How do you regulate your emotions? How do you handle the issue which is at hand without affecting yourself, without affecting your feelings, without affecting your emotions, without affecting your behavior?
But that calls for a superhuman being, guys. Can you imagine that what she's saying? That you regulate what? Your emotions. You know when to say.
When I talk about emotions, I'm talking about sadness. Sad, you're now sad. How do
Angry.
you, how do you walk out of that sadness? Instead
Ah.
of remaining there and being sad all the time and affecting the people around you, how do you come out of it in a good?
I know you'll tell me how to come out of it soon. Because me, from where I'm sitting, I don't know. There's that kind of feeling, guys. You know, that kind of feeling. You're like dealing with that person gives you some satisfaction. But
You're mentally well when you think like that.
nice.
Yes.
So that gives me hope.
But when it goes to the extreme, when you're sitting there thinking of the revenge
That's
in
it.
a very severe way. Yeah, so no, it's like I was saying, how do you ensure that you stay mentally well? Just what Dr. Stella here said, and Dr. Munda, I think first of all, which is one of the most important things around us, just things like even connecting with people. Yeah, there are those of us, we have friends, we have relatives, we have neighbors, we have colleagues. We know nothing about them, and we do not want to associate with them. Yeah, we don't even want to make an effort. How about you just get out of your way and do something? Reach out to people, find out what they are doing. Call your mom up country, find out how she's doing. Call a colleague who had an issue last evening at work. Find out how they woke up in the morning. Such simple acts make us feel satisfied. Things like even being active. I mean, if suddenly you had an appointment with someone and they disappointed you, the worst is you sitting there and beating up yourself. How about you go for a walk? Yeah, take a walk, take a run.
Are you sure it's that easy?
Mhm.
You are putting it.
Mhm.
I hope it works. I wish it could just be that. I wish it could that be easy,
It's just the simple things we do, but we've never thought of them differently. Like things like taking action, being in the here and now, know what is happening in the environment. Simple things. Know what is happening. People aya kulinyesha jana. Oh, okay. You are not even aware what is going on in your environment.
So you're saying the easiest avenue approach to be able to adjust easily from situation to the other is connecting. One that means connecting with your environment, with the people around you. So this staying in the room, locking up yourself because you are annoyed is worse. Switching off your phone, you don't want to hear because someone has you missed an appointment, umeletiwa down, unafunga simu, it worsens. So you rather adjust, come out of it, do something, shift your attention to something else. Nice. I'm a fast learner, right?
And
Yes, you are. I know my audience is following and we are learning. All my friends, hope you react that way. When I fail you, simulate my feelings. You cooperate.
I think one another key issue that you also need to focus on is I must admit that we are always working on this. All of us are
Work in progress.
Yes. Yeah.
You mean work in progress?
Work in progress. Basically just means we need to be open to learning. Let us learn more. Yeah. Let us allow ourselves to be corrected. Let us allow ourselves to be negatively criticized. Because it's only through that you're able to deal with your issues and become better. So did I try to, bring out what mental wellness is and how we can know what your mental wellness is?
You've really done it so well. Actually, I think from what you've told me, I'm left with a challenge. I don't know, guys, if you're following Dr. Maureen, you realize she has left us with a challenge. That we have to be open-minded. That we have to be flexible. That we have to be positive to positive criticism. It doesn't have to be positive, by the way. Sometimes people present it negatively. So, but you have to be positive ourselves on how we perceive things. So that's the challenge for our health, that we have a burden. Me, I feel like it's a challenge, some work I need to do. It's true, we are work in progress. So we are learning every day that let's learn also to be flexible. Let's not be so rigid. Actually, I think this some of the things that make us suffer more. When you are holding on to things have to be done our way. Let's be flexible, open-minded, positive, so that we live easy. You know? Where Daktari has taught us. Thank you, Daktari.
Yes,
I'm a health person. Trust me. From today, I'll be a very mental health person.
remember, we just said something. If it goes beyond your normal way of operating, then it becomes an illness. And that is what I would just challenge us. Maybe in this session, we'll be talking about mental illness. Yeah, and throw it over to Dr. Stella Keronga.
Wow, thank you so much, Dr. Modi. And I'm so glad that you started from a positive point of view. We have looked at how health are we? What are the things we are looking at when we say like I'm healthy, mentally healthy? What are we looking at? The way we think, rational way, the meaning we attach to it, and that is what Dr. Modi has class. So for my case, I'm going to take you through the mental illness. When we talk about mental illness, what comes out of your mind? What do you think about yourself? What do you think about? I can pose that to you. What do you think about when you hear about mental illness?
Now, you see, I'm sure, guys, that question is a bit high. And now, it would have been easier if she asked me this question before Daktari taught me what mental health is. Now here, nataka to fake. Nataka kujifanya venye nimeelewa masomo. So I will answer it from what I've been taught. Or should I answer it from the previous therapy? Before learning.
Yeah, previous one.
Before learning, before she brought to my attention actually what mental health is, my understanding from mental health, by the way, ukiambiwa tu mtu ni mental ni psycho, huyo ni mwenda. I mean, the simplest, crudest way. Si ni akili, si imenok, si ni wazimu. Mbona tunatumia kizungu mingi? Daktari, from my previous thing, ukisikia tu ako. Actually, we don't even say it. Tunachapanga kidole. You're like, ayupo poa. Ayupo.
Thank you so much. That is what I wanted to hear, because you are a representation of the society.
Sure.
People don't know much about the mental illness. And when we talk about the mental illness, we are looking at how our populations are. How are we thinking? How are we behaving? And now the mental illness covers a collection of many disorders. It is like a pool of it, covering all areas. And that is why actually some people say, let's start from the mental illness. We talk about depression, we talk about autism, we talk many things. We say, let's start from the beginning, the mental illness.
And I love your approach, Daktari. I love the approach that you've tackled this whole issue. Before you even tell us, now you see from where I'm sitting, I'm able to learn with a positive attitude already. That it's not so harsh when you talk of mental, they are bad people. That the things we take for granted, what we assume, we overrate sometimes. And what we call madness could not be madness. It's just some easy condition that will be dealt with. So the positive approach towards this, may find it more, I'm more on the receiving end. And I'm glad, I can't wait, please.
Oh, wow, thank you so much. And so when we talk about the mental illness, when you are mentally ill, it affects the way you think, it affects your family, it affects your social life, it affects your work. You can't do your work in a good way, you are disturbed. And this, why does it affect your social life? Why does it affect your work? Why does it affect your family? It's because when you start thinking about the mental illness, it affects your cognitions. That is the first thing. The way you think. How do you think? The meaning you attach to things. It affects your emotions. Emotions, it trickles down. When, like now, if I can give an example of a teacher and a student who's so bad in English, and then he's called by the teacher, come, and then the teacher says, why are you doing this? You need to do this. What goes in the mind of that student? The teacher hates him. What follows? The feelings. That student feels sad. What follows next? It affects the behavior. That student now will withdraw seeing the teacher. And what is all this? It goes down to mental illness. You see this person, you feel bad, you feel like you're sweating, you feel like you don't want to see this person, and it affects the performance of this student. When it affects the performance of this student, it goes back to the parents.
So it's a chain.
It affects the school performance.
It's a chain.
So it is a chain of it. You treat one, you've treated all. And so what I can say more is what we feel in our brain is very important. Our brain, our cognitions is like food. You see the way you put onion in vegetables. So the same way, if you put an onion which is bad, it spoils everything.
Sure.
But if we put onion which is fried, good, it makes the meal yummy. Yes.
Sure.
So the brain, what are you feeding in? Are you feeding that negative thing? Are you feeding that negativity in your brain, in your cognitions? Are you so negative? And so when you are negative, it affects everything. Your
Wait,
feelings.
you just talked of that. You talked of an emotional, mental health being caused by a chain of reactions and events, right? Because you talked of now, like the scenario you just presented of a student. I'm thinking a student being summoned for poor performance.
Yes.
That student feels bad because, of course, the rest performed, they have maybe performed better than her. So feels bad towards the teacher,
Feels bad because he's saying
towards
I'm
the students,
irritated.
other fellow classmates.
Yes.
Feels bad about her own self. Then you become sad. This sadness moves to another level. And what we were just saying now, that I mentioned earlier, of staying too long in this state.
Yes.
So this student will be sad for a long time without realizing that performing better for other in the future or other exams are coming would even be better. Now you see her reaction. I'm now looking at the reaction of events. Like it started by a very simple summon in the staff room. So that those little things, these little things we encounter that leads us to this other level. That's what you're saying.
The other category of factors, the factors are categorized to make us know where they fall in. I've talked about biological, I've talked about psychological. So the other category is what you call the sociocultural factors. Now, under the sociocultural factor, they say that studies have found that those who live in those who have lower socioeconomic status have been found to have more cases of mental illness. But there is a debate going on about that, where they're wondering, is it that people move from higher socioeconomic status because of mental illness, then it gets them to the lower socioeconomic status. So that's still a debate going on. But the finding was that those who have mental illnesses cases were found to be higher in lower socioeconomic status regions. Gender has also been associated with some mental illnesses. And interestingly, earlier on, there were studies that were saying that the female gender is more prone to depression. But now there's a debate because there are also studies that have found that the male gender is now more prone to depression. So there's still a debate going on age is also an issue. Where when maybe in our next series, when in our next session, when we're looking at the different types of mental illnesses, we'll see that there are mental illnesses that are found just in certain ages. Like we have children mental illnesses, adolescent mental illnesses, and then mental illnesses that can only be found in maybe the old people. So age is also a factor. And then race and ethnicity has also been found to play a role in certain mental illnesses. They also found that living in an urban environment, possibly because of the high stress levels, can lead to higher cases of mental illness. And then lack of social support. Lack of social support or inadequate social networks. Remember how we were talking about withdrawal? So when you cut links with your social networks, you are likely to develop mental illness. Or if you have poor or inadequate social support, then like if maybe a tragedy happens to you and you don't have adequate social support, you're likely to develop mental illness. And also migration. And migration, we can be looking at rural, urban, or migration into another country or to another place can also lead to certain mental illnesses. And then another category, or rather, I wouldn't call it a category, but it is a summary. All these factors that I've mentioned, biological, psychological, and sociocultural, they can be summarized into what you call biopsychosocial.
Biopsychosocial.
Yes.
Biopsychosocial.
Yes. Biopsychosocial. So the reason they came up with this category to summarize all this is they found that any mental illness doesn't necessarily have one cause. All these factors are at play. So you will have maybe one mental illness. Let's talk about depression. It will have biological factors to it. It will have psychological factors to it. It will have sociocultural factors to it.
It's true.
So that's why they came up with this model to explain the causes, just to make us understand that no one factor or group of factors can explain all mental illnesses. Not all mental illnesses can be explained by one factor, but when we look at it from the biopsychosocial model, then we can understand that mental illnesses can be caused by a group of factors. So I think this is one of the most important explanations as to the causes of mental illness. So there's no one specific cause. For example, if we look at schizophrenia, we could claim that it's mostly caused biologically. It has more biological factors causing it. But there could also be other environmental factors. Yeah. So it's just important for us to understand that mental illnesses have a multiple of causes. There's no one factor that can be applied in explaining mental illnesses. Yes. So I think I will leave the causes at that with that summary, just to help us understand that.
Actually, it's a beautiful summary. From where I'm sitting now, I'm sure our viewers, my audience guys, you're following this, and you agree with Daktari that after following keenly, if you've been following, you realize somehow these things are linked. And from what she's just said, that we can't just place our hand on one and tag it to a condition. They could be multiple. So we stay positive, and that's why actually from this, we still go back to all of us are vulnerable. Because how smart are you? How smart will you be? And we are just saying that these things we may not even realize. So let's stay awake. Let's be on the lookout, on the watch out of what's happening. Let's be sensitive to our environment, and let's be flexible. Let's be open-minded. Let's be positive towards everything around us. And above all, we need God. Yes, we need God. Because after all this, God has given them the mind. And let's use them as we pray, we seek help, and that God will use them to direct us. So because I know you will challenge me. Some of you are already thinking, someone is already telling me, hizi vitu ni Mungu tu. Yes, of course, ni Mungu. Hata mimi najua ni Mungu tu. It's their mind, God using people around us. It's God in their mind directing them. So let's allow ourselves, let's seek help as we pray. That we also need to be held physically and to be guided through this process. Usijifanye mjanja because utabebwa na maji. So let's be positive. Let's be willing that they are available in all this. They are available to support us, to hold our hands, to walk with us through the journey. So drop your comments, write to us how you are feeling. Do you have any experience? Do you have any question? Do you have anything to add? I know other professionals, experts are watching. We appreciate. We would love to hear also from you and your comments. We learn more. We also learn. We're here learning, and I'm sure they'll be willing even to capture your points too. We thank you for following, and we appreciate you for even subscribing. And just as I told you, this is the best channel you can ever find around. The information, what I have in store for you, trust me, you'll always be grateful for subscribing to this channel. I love you. Thank you.